All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you for 9 minutes with me all over Facebook, IGTV, and YouTube. Make sure you hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, and of course, download and subscribe to my podcast. It's called the ML Sports Platter, all over the major platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, as well as Stitcher, Deezer, the Podbean app, YouTube, and Tumblr. We are presented by Bryant and Stratton College, Welch and Company Jewelers, and Brian Comboy of Mass Mutual, New York State. Go get your tax-efficient retirement planning today from Brian Comboy, advisors.massmutual.com. And, of course, go like Brian's page on Facebook. He's got a lot of awesome ideas. We went with him. We're super happy about it. In your future retirement planning, all those decisions aren't really that easy, whether it's your funds or a college fund or anything else. Brian Comboy has got you covered A to Z in terms of your full one-stop shop for your retirement planning, tax-efficient retirement planning, all in on Brian Comboy, the official financial advisor of the ML Sports Platter. So I want to keep going with the Mookie Betts thing to L.A., and I am just mystified at the pack of Red Sox fans who are okay with this. They're okay with a way over 40 wins above replacement guy, a World Series winner, an American League MVP, a 300 career hitter, a 4-time Gold Glove winner, the second best player in baseball, arguably behind Mike Trout, the ultimate five-tool player, a guy who could have gone down in Red Sox lore with the number retired and all the rest in Fenway Park with guys like Ted Williams. He could have gone down in Red Sox lore with Carl Yastrzemski, Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez, David Ortiz, Freddie Lynn. I just don't understand why Red Sox fans, there's a pocket of them, you know, they're accepting this, and then everybody else is obviously irate. But to me, this is absolutely ridiculous, and I can go so many different directions with it, and without getting lost in the woods here with this, I'm just going to go one thing at a time. Number one, if you're a Red Sox fan, there's only one way to think. If you're looking at it from my standpoint, this is ridiculous. They just traded the franchise player and the guy who's worth watching every single day at Fenway. This is a team that doesn't have a great bullpen. This is a team that has shitty starting pitching. This is a team that already is not going to be able to compete with the Yankees with Mookie Betts in terms of at least winning the division. I don't know what the Yankees are going to do in the playoffs, but from a regular season standpoint, an 162-game standpoint, the Red Sox aren't going to win the division. The Yankees are going to win that division by maybe 8 to 10, 12 games. Now they could win it by 15, and it'll be over the Blue Jays maybe. I still think the Red Sox are going to be a competitive team and a solid team, and they could even get the wild card, but they're not going to win the division, and they don't have the sustainability to win in the postseason. Now you're taking away a guy with a well over 40 WAR who could be the second best, third best player annually in baseball, or the best player like he was in 2018. You're simply taking him away. This is an insane move to me. And the Red Sox had just signed him to that one-year, sort of extension / whatever the heck it was for $27 million. I know they're off the hook with that, but I just would not. There's only one way to look at this if I'm a Red Sox fan, and I'm super pissed off. There's a lot of Red Sox fans who are okay with this deal because they're buying into the Chaim Bloom, the general manager, the new Tampa Bay Ray whiz kid who's coming in and gotten the Red Sox below the luxury tax threshold, which was the #1 goal. The problem is, some of these fans are trying to talk about how, well, you got rid of the David Price contract and you can still go sign Mookie Betts. Number one, you didn't get rid of the David Price contract because you're still paying half of the $96 million left over 3 years, which means you're only getting rid of what, $48 million over 3 years. You're still paying $12 million of that every single year to have David Price not even on the roster. And here's a guy who could have been the World Series MVP in 2018, who could also be a much-needed commodity in that rotation because, hello, you don't know what you're going to get out of Nathan Eovaldi or Chris Sale. So you're paying money out the wazoo still for David Price to not even be on the roster, and it's half the deal. It's not even like it's $78 million of the $96 million. If that were the case, I'd say, okay, cool, like you're getting out, no problem. But then when I started to read deep into this thing, you're paying $48 million to have him not even on the roster. Also, Mookie Betts is going to sign with the Red Sox next year. What's going to make anybody think that Chaim Bloom is going to go out and get Mookie Betts after this year when this Red Sox project is a 2-year operation? It's already known inside the baseball circles that the Red Sox want to do this for 2 years. They want to rebuild. They want to now restructure the entire roster around Rafael Devers and Andrew Benintendi, which, look, they're very, very good players. But they ain't Mookie Betts. And Benintendi had a bad year last year. I think he probably comes back this year. Devers I've always liked. Obviously, though, I think that Mookie Betts is the big guy. And now when you take Mookie Betts away from the lineup, by the way, you're also taking those guys' chances of succeeding even more away. Think about it. When you have great players, you get deeper. It's like what I say, when you go out and start, sign a big-time starting pitcher, an ace of your staff, that allows your number 2, who shouldn't be an ace, to go back to the number 2 spot. It allows your 3 to not be a 2, your 4 to not be a 3. You get guys right in that rotation, and you let your bulldog and your ace be the ace because he is that guy. He's the Chris Carpenter, the Roy Halladay, the Bob Gibson, the Madison Bumgarner, the Sandy Koufax, the Tom Seaver, etc. throughout the postseason, the Kurt Schilling, the Greg Maddux, that kind of guy, the John Smoltz. You allow them to do that. That's what the Yankees did with Garrett Cole. Mookie Betts to Los Angeles is absolutely ridiculous. The Red Sox are not going to sign him next year. What do you think he's going to get on the open market? $350 to $400 million? That's what he should have gotten in the first place. And there are some Red Sox fans who are absolutely living underneath a rock with this whole thing, thinking that the Red Sox gave him enough, number one, and number two, thinking that he wanted to test the free agent market no matter what, and that 300 was absolutely positively that they're okay with that being the last offer. Why are you okay with that being the last offer? If Mike Trout is making $400 million, and don't get me wrong, I think the baseball contracts are out of control. I think athletes, entertainers, everybody makes too much money. Unless you're finding a cure for cancer, you're not worth that much money. But that's where we're at, and that's where the market is, and I'm not going to get into that right now because I don't have time. But here's the reality of the situation. Mookie Betts, maybe he would have signed an extension if he was offered $340, $370, $400, $405, $410. But the Red Sox stopped at $300 million, I think, 10 years. They stopped there. So we'll never know if Mookie Betts would have accepted more because the Red Sox didn't offer that money. What makes you think that in a 2-year, you, the Red Sox fan who likes this deal, and think that Mookie Betts could come back to Boston and finish his career, what makes you think the Boston Red Sox, in a 2-year rebuild, are going to go to Mookie Betts after this year, and he could have a monster year in the LA Dodgers uniform because he's around Max Muncy, he's around Justin Turner, he's around Cody Bellinger, he's around Corey Seager, he's around a monster lineup. What if Mookie Betts goes 310, 25-30, and 115 RBI and steals 30 bases and has an unbelievable year in the field, and he's worth like a 7.2 WAR? What do you think he's going to get on the open market? Probably $375 million over 10 years? You think the Red Sox are going to give him that? The Red Sox could have offered him something right now to keep him in a Boston uniform and keep him happy. I'm not convinced that he wants to test the open market. I'm convinced he wants to test the open market because the Red Sox stopped at $300 million. Also, here's my final point of this whole thing. Mookie Betts, signing him to a 10-year deal, a lot of the Red Sox fans who like this trade are trying to come up with the whole, well, 10-year contracts never work. It's never a good thing to give a guy 10 years. Folks, I would agree with you in most cases, but this isn't most cases. This is Mookie Betts in his prime at, wait for it, the age of 27. He doesn't turn 28 until October. If you sign him to a 10-year deal, he's then 37, 38-ish at the end of that contract. This is not signing Robinson Cano at the age of 30 to a 10-year deal. It's not signing Albert Pujols to a deal where he's staying in an Angels uniform until he's basically falling down at the age of 41 or 42. This is a prime-time 5-tool player, MVP guy from a year ago, a World Series champ, 4 Gold Gloves, 300 career hitter, all-around player, face of the Boston Red Sox, a guy who could go down in legendary territory with his number on the wall at Fenway Park for years and years and years. And the Red Sox blew it by not signing him. Yeah, Verdugo's a really good player. They got a hard-throwing reliever. Nice. They have Devers and Benintendi to build the roster on. Fine. If you're a true inside the wall, big-time Red Sox diehard, you should be furious. You should be puking all over the place, and you should be saying, no thanks, I'm not going to the ballpark this year. This was a disastrous deal for the Boston Red Sox. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. But I would have never, ever traded Mookie Betts. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.